GoMileHigh.com. Go Mile High.
That's right, folks. It's now time for the Michael Titus Show with your host, the bad boy of Colorado wrestling, the most magnificent, distinguished, remarkable, and downright extraordinary host Go Mile High has ever seen. Here he is, Michael Titus. Hello and welcome, moronic morons. This is... Oops. I did it again. I'm sorry, folks. Force of habit. I apologize. And I was informed by the resplendent program director, Rob Wagner, that if I referred to the listeners, you fine people, as moronic morons again, I would be fined $150. Oh, well, just a costly lesson to be learned. It's one of those things that, what are you going to do? It's when it's a force of habit. Anyway, the show must go on. On today's show, since there's no wrestling shows out there right now for independent wrestling, we're going to be talking about wrestling then and now. We're going to just talk about all that leading up into the new year until we got a lot of great big shows coming up this following year, 2012. And according to Dave Prill, my wonderful board op, we have a caller. Is that correct?
That is correct. You do have a caller.
All right.
Let me send him through to you.
Welcome to the program. Who is this?
We got anything yet?
Is there a phone button on the board? Their mic's on? There you go. Who is this?
Hi, this is Tommy Lacroix.
Tommy LaCroix?
Lacroix, sir.
LaCroix, huh? So, why are you calling in?
Oh, I'd just like to say something real quick before you get started on one of your tangents where you talk really fast and flub your lines. I'd like to tell the listeners something. All three of them. See, Michael Titus approached me last Sunday to discuss how we'd work out this phone call. We'd keep it nice and professional, and he'd asked me to defend myself towards the insults he threw my way on last week's show. Now, after I left the room is where this gets interesting. The two-faced snake, that is Michael Titus, told the boys he was going to, and I quote, bury Tommy on the air. He even told them some of the questions he planned on asking me while I was on the show, which, fortunately, I have written down here. Question 1. Why do you suck? 1, I'm not the best, but I don't suck, Mikey. I put asses in seats every show, and I entertain. Sure, all the rednecks and that one juggalo come out to see your brother and Dave Dean, but I'm getting new people to like ACW every month. And 2, that's a hell of a question for a closet kid to ask me. Yeah, I know how you go in a gay club with a Hoto Loco. I could ask you a question, too. How do you suck? Do you spit, or do you swallow? Now, hold on a second before you answer that, because I'm not done talking. Question 2. Why does everyone hate you? Well, I can tell you why your brother hates me. Wearing a suit jacket with a polo shirt is tacky, and I called him out on it. As for everybody else, I can't say. But what I can say is that I have more likes on a single one of my Facebook photos than your crappy show does. And on to question 3, why did you break Azteca Guerrero's nose? Now, I didn't mean to, Mikey. I was kneeing people in the face that whole match, and he was the only one that didn't turn his head. It's wrestling. It's not ballet. You should know that. Now, those are the questions you're going to ask me, and I've answered them. Before I go, I'd like to tell you that you're not the bad boy of Colorado wrestling. I am. I say what I want, when I want, and I don't get carried away like you do and talk so fast and fumble my lines to the point that no one understands me. Until next time, Mikey, stay gold. Bang.
Well, there you have it, folks. If you just joined us, that was Tommy LaCroix, Mr. Deluxe himself. He wanted to call in and defend himself. He felt that what I said about him a couple of weeks ago on this show, about him being disrespectful and undeserving, well, he just proved my point right then and there. Now, he assumes that by what I said to others at the ACW Christmas party was indeed the actual questions that I was going to ask him. Those weren't the actual questions at all. I actually was joking. I said, you know what? Let's see what type of emotions I could stir with this individual. Let's see what type of anger I could draw up from him. Well, I could possibly sit here and tell you all of the things that I know about him and how he's 20 years old, he owns a car but doesn't have a driver's license, and, you know, he does a lot of unsavory things. But you know what? That's his prerogative. That's his life. I can't choose it, you know, and him trying to bring up certain things like that. Well, you know what? I have a variety of friends of all different walks of background and lifestyles and every different things. So what I choose to do to befriend them and to be nice to them, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to judge them as he has judged others. Now, the reason I say he's disrespectful is because, as you saw, he comes on, instead of having thick skin, he comes on and tries to disparage me when I have not once said anything that was untrue about him. He needs to realize that in this business, things are going to be tough. Things are going to be rough. People are going to talk about you behind your back. People are going to say things that sometimes are true and sometimes are false. And you're just going to have to deal with them. And you have to be a man and state the facts and say, well, you know what? It's possible. It's possible that nobody likes me. It's possible that I'm not as good as I think I am. And as far as those people that he's bringing to the seats, those are just his friends that he paid off to bring in there. You know what? When I bring people to the arena, it's people who want to see me entertain you. People are coming from miles around saying, hey, I heard about you. I want to come see you. It's not, hey, you're my best friend. Come and see me. Yeah, because I'm deluxe. No, that's not what happened. And, you know, as far as I'm concerned, Brandon Bishop gave you that underground title. He felt that because you are bringing in people to the shows, that therefore you decided that it's good enough for you to be the next champion. Really? Are you that good? No. You know, I'm in no position. I've heard a lot of people say about you, you know, that you were overweight. I'm in no position to talk to you about that. There are a lot of people out there that call you Mr. Stretch Mark. Hey, that's their business, not mine. You know, there's a lot of things about you that I would say about you, Tommy Lacroix, but quite frankly, you said it yourself. You put yourself on the line. You made yourself look like an even bigger fool than you really are. But you know what? Life goes on, and so does the Michael Titus Show. And like I said before, we're going to be talking about wrestling then and now. We're going to be talking about some of the big feuds that happened back in 1998 at this time in December. I'm going to be talking about a promo that Jake the Snake had that I found interesting. So I want you to stay tuned for more of the Michael Titus Show right here on Go Mile High.
Go Mile High. GoMileHigh.com.
It's that moment when a person becomes something greater than themselves. The sports talk show host sets up to the microphone. He knows the pressure is on to deliver a spectacular performance. He drops back, hands the toss to his co-host. His co-host tosses back. It's a flea flicker. The host bombs it down the field, and the audience receives a touchdown. Oh my goodness, I can't believe what just happened.
We love sports, and we love to talk about it. GoMileHigh.com. Colorado sports lifestyle.
Catch your breath.
Hi everyone, it's the mortgage team of Jennifer and Matt with American Liberty Mortgage, here to talk about renovation loans. There's no need to do the renovation work yourself when you can have a contractor do it and get it done in a required period of time.
With Fannie Mae's Home Path loan and FHA's 203K loan, you can have the renovation work done for you and have the cost rolled into the loan. Call the mortgage team of Jennifer and Matt for more details about the Home Path renovation and FHA 203K loans at 303-901-6042.
That's the mortgage team of Jennifer and Matt at 303-901-6042.
GoMileHigh.com. Go Mile High. Sports talk junkies, listen up. Oh, yeah! Now you don't have to wait for that ride home to get your sports fix. The Press Box every afternoon on GoMileHigh.com is exactly what you need to get through that long, boring day. Online at work or on your iPhone. The Press Box on GoMileHigh.com. Colorado sports lifestyle. Catch your breath.
As a veteran of Iraq or Afghanistan, joining IAVA.org really helps in the transition home. It's a network of OIF and OEF vets like me who've got your back here, just like we did over there. That means when you need help navigating the GI Bill, we've got your back. And when you're dealing with the transition home, we've got your back. Or when you just want someone to share stories with, we've got your back. Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America is there for you. Join our community at IAVA.org. We've got your back.
Brought to you by IAVA and the Ad Council.
Go Mile High is easy to find on Facebook, too. Like us. GoMileHigh.com.
This is the best independent wrestler in the state of Colorado, the Superstar, and you're listening to The Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com, the Christmas edition of the Michael Titus Show. That's right, this Sunday is going to be Christmas. It's a big festive time of year. Here in the Belmar area, they're all decked out with all the Christmas decorations, the lights, the garland, the streamers, you name it, they've got it all out here. And here it is, the Michael Titus Show. We don't have any wrestling shows the rest of this month, so we're going to be talking about wrestling then and now. But if you have a question, comment, or concern, if you want to just talk to me and be respectful, not like that undeserving individual, poor excuse for a wrestler, Tommy LaCroix, give me a call, 720-258-8488. You have a phone call? All right, this is a very popular show today. We got a lot of phone callers. Tell me all about it, Dave. Who is it? Welcome to the program. Hello, welcome to the program.
Titus.
I can't believe it. It's the real Joshua Todd. I can't believe it. He finally got his opportunity to come on to the Michael Titus Show. You know, we've worked together a few occasions, but I really don't know you. So I wanted to bring you onto my show. I wanted you to come on, and I want you to tell me all about yourself.
All right. Well, you tell me what you want to know.
Well, I mean,
End of the show at ACW, you know about me.
absolutely. Well, I mean, you know, what I know about you is that you are pursuing a career in reality TV. Is that correct?
You could call it pursuing, but it's already a reality.
It's already a reality. What have you done so far?
So far, we're getting everything in the can, getting everything set up, and within the next few months, be it YouTube if they have to go that route, be it internet, you know a lot about that. We'll find a way to get this show out to the masses, and people will really be able to see what the real Joshua Todd's all about.
What's the premise of the show?
Me, my life, wrestling inside and out, who I truly am.
So why did you get into wrestling? What was the driving force for you to get into professional wrestling?
Well, 8 years ago when I started all this, it was, being the kid wanting to imitate the guys on TV. That was really looking at it. Getting into it, once you got going with it, it was, I don't know, it becomes that passion that just, it's hard to explain unless you do it. I mean, you know what it's like.
So who did you want to emulate? What wrestlers did you look up to?
Sting was probably my biggest.
Sting? And why is that?
Was the biggest. Just that whole outgoing personality, arms up, bellowing out, the way that the crowd reacted to him. To me, he was the guy when I got into it.
How has your career emulated Sting's? Have you gotten the reaction that you've wanted from the crowd?
Now, currently with ACW, no. Those fans, they got a little education they still need to get. But, with 8 years, the bottom line, boo me, cheer me, love me, hate me, it don't really matter. As long as at the end of the day, when I walk out of there and those guys are walking out of that thing, they're thinking of me. They're thinking of the real Joshua Todd. They're thinking about what I did, be it good or bad. As long as they got me on their mind, it was a good day.
So take us through the course of your reality TV show. Tell us all about it. I mean, go through the steps of where are they starting from childbirth? Where are they starting from and how they evolve into who you are today?
Well, the plan's going to be having it set up starting with ACW. The goal is going to be finally getting that title. That's my goal, at least. 8 years doing this, I've had one one-on-one title shot. I have not gotten that second one. A couple of those I believe it's your brother, cost me a couple shots. And me and him still got some unfinished business, but we'll get to that. But, the bottom line is going to be getting to that point where I get my title. And finally being able to feel like these last 8 years have some sort of justification.
Why is the ACW title so important to you?
Like I said, it's the justification. It's knowing that you made it, knowing that you are the top guy at that time. And at the same time, it doesn't have to be at this point the ACW title. Danger Dean can keep it for now, but be it the institutional title, tag team titles. I heard Tommy on earlier, and we got some work to do with him to get me and him set up. Deluxe Reality starts out this next coming year.
So how do you feel about Tommy LaCroix? I mean, do you think that he has potential? What do you think about him?
He's a good kid. You know, he's young. He's still learning this business. He's just starting out, but he's got a lot of raw talent, and it's just getting him more and more experience, getting him out there more and more with the people, and getting him to understand that it's the same thing. If they cheer you, it's great. If they boo you, who cares? The bottom line is that they walk out remembering the Lux, and that's all that needs to matter.
Now, I can expect that a man of your class, distinction, the time that you've already had in this business, to have an ego that is becoming of the great wrestler that you are. But Tommy, on the other hand, he's still new to this business. Don't you think that his ego needs to get into check?
You know, I've spent some time with the guy, and I don't know if it's just because it's with me, but I haven't seen that ego. I heard him earlier on the show. I heard the ego you're probably talking about, but you know what? To me, that's confidence. And I had that starting out, and it's going to rub people the wrong way. Some people aren't going to like you. Then you know they're going to be mad about it. They're you're an arrogant jackass, whatever. But it's the way it is. As long as you are who you are, you do what you got to do, and you have the confidence in yourself, it's not going to matter, and you'll be able to succeed in this business.
And I'm sure there's probably been numerous people that you've stepped on along the way and will continue to step on to get to your ultimate goal, and that is the ACW title, or any title really, just to get that justification that you have attained that level. Correct?
Correct.
Now, wouldn't you want to expand your aspirations even farther to outside of Colorado, outside of the indie promotions here? Isn't that would that be something in line to what you would like to do?
You know, I've been outside of the state. I've wrestled in California. I've wrestled in North Dakota or South Dakota. I've been down in Texas. There's a lot out there. For me, I know where I'm at in my career. I know where I'm at with everything else and with my family and everything else. I'm good with being here. You know, I love being in the ring. I love this. I love our fan base we have here. There's more out there we got to tap into, but once you get that fan base going, it's great here. You know, I really don't have the interest in leaving.
All right. Well, tell me something that no one else knows about you. Something that would make it, that makes you just that much more interesting than you already are.
Well, I don't know. That's a tough one. So, you know, to me, the bottom line is, you know, no matter what I'm doing outside the ring, be with my family. I got 2 kids, my wife, you know, or my second job outside of here that pays the bills when wrestling's not. You know, it makes me me. And stepping into that ring is probably one of the greatest feelings. Outside of the family and the kids, I don't want to make my wife mad. She's listening to the show now, but, you know, being able, that second feeling that it's hard to explain. And unless you felt it, you don't know. You know, it's that adrenaline rush. And I was working with my sister on a video project a while back and showing her the Steve Austin My Sacrifice video. And it's just like you said, you know, that adrenaline rush. Once you get it, you're a junkie. You know, you're hooked to it, and there's no way else to get it.
That's exactly right. There's no other greater feeling than being under those bright lights. We all have experienced it. We all want to be a part of it, and that's what keeps us coming and going and striving to get more of it, even when the money isn't always there. That's true. But I want to ask you, this is the Christmas edition show. What is your favorite Christmas moment in wrestling history? Do you even have one?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. What was one of the good ones that we've had lately? Or even just, well, it's been a while with it. Overall, greatest memory is easy to come by. Christmas memory? I don't know. I don't really think I have a Christmas one.
Well, what would you prefer? I mean, is there a great moment in wrestling history that you just thought stood out in your mind more than anything?
Despite everything that's happened since, you know, and all the drama with it, Chris Benoit winning the title, and with Eddie coming out, that moment, those 2 guys in the ring, WrestleMania, everyone around it, that was probably the best memory I have, or my greatest memory of everything. And seeing it happening kind of more now with CM Punk, you know, Daniel Bryanson, those guys.
I agree wholeheartedly.
You know,
that was a
movement coming back it's good.
That was a great moment. Anything else you want to say before I have to let you go?
No, that'll be about it. But I will say, if I'm not busy, I'll be calling you next week, and hopefully Tommy calls you back, and you two can have a more civilized conversation. And it won't be so one-sided.
I certainly would hope and expect that. It's been a real pleasure, Mr. Todd. I thank you for your time. We'll be back for more of the Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com.
GoMileHigh.com. Go Mile High.
Jeez there, Paulie. Why you typing so fast?
Hey, Mikey, I have nothing to do with old radio. I gotta focus on work, huh?
What do you mean you got nothing to do? You could go online and listen to GoMileHigh.com.
Go Mile High what?
It's GoMileHigh.com. They have the best MMA show out there called MMA Uncensored.
What are you talking, mama?
It's not mama, it's MMA, man. Don't you like fighting?
Hey, I'm a fighter, Mikey. You know me.
Well, if you're a fighter, then you need to tune to GoMileHigh.com every Tuesday and Thursday night from 7 to 9 p.m. Mountain Time and listen to MMA Uncensored.
Who's the guy that runs this operation?
I don't know. He's a Chicago guy like myself. I think his name's Luke something.
Hey, he's Chicago. I'm New York. Will we get along?
Oh, of course. Everyone likes pizza.
We talk main fighters?
Everything from the UFC, Strikeforce, and Bellator, plus local fighters like Ring of Fire and Fight to Win.
You vouch for this guy?
I swear I vouch for him. He's a Chicagoan.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out, Mikey.
Okay, Tuesday, Thursday night, 7 to 9 p.m. Mountain Time on GoMileHigh.com.
When you think of horses and insurance, you probably think of hurdles. At Equisure, they pride themselves on giving you a smooth ride because Equisure employs insurance people who are horse owners, competitors, and equestrian participants. The unexpected in the horse world can be costly. Don't wait to have a claim to find out. Equisure. Protect your passion. To get a quote, visit equisure-inc.com or call 800-752-2472. Equisure. 800-752-2472.
Go Mile High. GoMileHigh.com.
Hi. I can't come to the phone right now because I'm abusing my children. Not just verbally, but physically. I'll get back to you.
If only child abuse was this easy to recognize. If you even suspect abuse, call Child Help at 1-800-4A-CHILD or visit childhelp.org. We've helped millions of people help millions of children. All calls are anonymous and confidential, so call 1-800-4A-CHILD or visit childhelp.org. Child Help. Trust your instincts. Brought to you by Child Help and the Ad Council.
GoMileHigh.com. Are you freaking kidding me? GoMileHigh.com.
Good afternoon and welcome back for more of the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com. Well, so far we've had two callers. It's been a busy day. First, we had Tommy LaCroix. He did indeed defend himself. He felt that I was provoking him and unjustifiably were saying some derogatory things about him, which were untrue. I said that he was disrespectful and undeserving of the ACW Underground title. All of those are true. Now, what he thinks he overheard at the Christmas party and what people think that they had to tell him, who knows? You know what? People are people. They're going to say what they want to say, and if he wants to believe other people, go right ahead. I was going to give him an opportunity to defend himself. I did. I let him talk. I could have cut his mic at any point in time I wanted to. I could have Mr. Dave Preel back there just turn the button, and he would have had no chance to say a word. But you know what? I gave him the opportunity. I'm a nice guy. And then we had the real Joshua Todd. The man is putting together a reality TV show, which we've now found out is about his life. It's going to be about his life, chronicling from birth all the way up to the final and ultimate goal, which he wants to attain some wrestling gold, whether it's here in Colorado, where it's somewhere else. Hopefully he's going to attain that. If it's an ACW, if it's an NEW, NRW, he wants to attain it somewhere, and he's going to get that opportunity. And he says he's got some unfinished business with the superstar, my brother. Well, you know what? If he wants to have a match with the superstar, he just has to ask, and I know that the superstar will give it to him. If it's an institutional title match he wants, the superstar will give it to him. Although he's going to have to wait in line because Patrick Daniels, the number one contender for the institutional title, for the ACW institutional title in Colorado Springs. So we'll have to see what that happens. Now, if he wants to put together a little reality TV show with Mr. Deluxe himself, Tommy LaCroix, that's maybe something can happen from there. Hopefully he will learn some respect, treat people with respect, mature a little bit, and perhaps he could put together something good. But continue on with the show today, Wrestling Then and Now. I want to talk to you about something that struck my eye, because indeed This is December 21st, 2011. I found something that I thought was pretty cool. It was a promo, a little, he talked about it. Jake the Snake Roberts was talking about himself and talking about something that was going to go on at the Royal Rumble in 1992. And this was an edition of Superstars. And he says, now, don't get me wrong, he says a lot of things, and they're very psychologically probing and makes you think. But this indeed has something that's just really, so let me try to read it verbatim for you. The Royal Rumble, winner takes all. The World Wrestling Federation belt goes to the one that stays to the end and beats everybody else. Now, somebody tells me that you, Randy Orton, have entered. Am I supposed to be scared? No, I'm not even shy about you, Randy. You see, I feel pretty safe about that. The chances of you getting your hands on me or winning that belt are like say, sex. It just doesn't happen. So abstain from the thought of winning the belt and abstain from the thought of touching me. I tell you what, he must have been psychologically troubled, high, or something on that particular point in time, because why else would he say something like that? But I found that quite interesting, and Jake Roberts indeed is one of the top 50 superstars of all time. He was chronicled in that WWE DVD. And then another person who I'm going to be talking about is Nick Bockwinkel. Nick Bockwinkel was one of the top 50 superstars. And he is a part of that segment that I wanted to add, which is the title change in Colorado. And the time that it changed in Denver, Colorado, was on January 20th, 1972. Last week I talked to you about 1965, which it was the AWA World title. Now it's the AWA Tag Team titles. And it was when Nick Bockwinkel and Ray Stevens defeated Red Bastion and the Crusher. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of history about all that and what led up to that fateful match that they had on January 20th, 1972. But right now, we got to hit the break. We got to go. We got to let the sponsors talk a little bit. So I want you to stay tuned for more of the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com.
Go Mile High is easy to find on Facebook, too. Like us. GoMileHigh.com. GoMileHigh.com is proud to present Internet Sports Radio at the push of a button. No matter where you are in the world, simply log on to GoMileHigh.com so you can catch up on your favorite sports.
I can't believe it, Kelly!
Stop wasting your time with that old portable radio and join the future of sports broadcasting. Log on. GoMileHigh.com. Colorado sports lifestyle. Catch your breath.
Pack your bags. A broadcasting school is looking for you to study in the USA. The Ohio Center for Broadcasting's Colorado campus is now accepting students from all over the world for its international training program in radio and TV. For more information, Skype us at BeOnAirUSA or visit beonair.com/USA. You can take classes in English or Spanish. In addition to getting hands-on experience in radio and TV, you will also get to enjoy an active lifestyle in beautiful and sunny Colorado. Our campus is located just an hour away from the mountains and within minutes from downtown Denver and footsteps to Belmar Shopping Center, complete with diverse dining, shopping, and entertainment options. For more information, Skype us at BeOnAirUSA or visit beonair.com/USA. Be on air and be in the USA.
Go Mile High. You're listening to GoMileHigh.com.
Ranger Station.
Yeah, hi. I'd like to report a bear sighting in the forest. 1 second, I'm having a smoke. Next thing I know, I'm face-to-face with Smokey Bear. Wow. And he told me it only takes one spark to start a wildfire.
Did you know 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans?
I had no idea.
That's why Smokey's famous and you're not. Get your Smokey on. If you see someone in danger of starting a wildfire, step in and make a difference. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Go Mile High. You're listening to GoMileHigh.com.
Welcome back to the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com. At this time, I'd like to take a break for a moment from talking about wrestling And even though I'm a fan and a participator of wrestling, I'm not without a clue. I do know that there are other sports out there. I do know that there's football, basketball, baseball, and things like that, hockey, soccer on the pitch, next on GoMileHigh.com. And, maybe those other people, they just don't like wrestling. I realize that, and I can respect that they like those sports and they don't like wrestling. But you know what? I just can't follow football, basketball, baseball. It makes my head explode. I just can't comprehend it for some reason. It's mind-boggling to me. But with that being said, I wanted to comment on the recent discussion of most sports enthusiasts. Many are talking about how, I guess, John Elway doesn't like Tim Tebow. I don't know much about that, but I do know that, I guess, Tebow, he's had some rocky beginnings. Rob Wagner, the program director, he wasn't on the bandwagon. I guess Ron Unger, the host of the Press Box on Mondays and Fridays, he doesn't like Tim Tebow still. But you know what? I understand that there's got to be some sort of animosity between the two of them, but it wasn't until this morning on Cool 105 with Kelly and Chris that I actually heard Chris say, it's probably something different. It's probably, not what everyone's thinking, about that, Elway wishes that Tebow did things differently, his technique or what have you, but it said Elway is actually jealous of Tim Tebow. People say that, and I would probably have to agree, because I would think that maybe the reason Elway is jealous of Tim Tebow is that because, while Tim Tebow is young and naive, he's already broken records. Isn't that true, Dave? He's already broken some sort of record about that since 1950. It hasn't been done before. I don't know.
I've never heard of any records that Tebow's are broken.
Well, you're a hockey fan, so how would you know about that? But, I mean, these are going out to the football fans that understand that. And so I think that, and at the same time, wasn't John Elway supposedly one of the greatest quarterbacks in Bronco history?
The greatest.
The greatest. Okay, so you do know that.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you knew anything at all behind the glass. There was a lot of debate and question regarding that. But, I think that perhaps the former blue and orange quarterback is now green with envy. But I digress about that, Getting on with the show, I wanted to talk to you about that big match from January 20th, 1972 for the AWA Tag Team title. So leading up to that, Nick Bockwinkel was originally working for the NWA. And he decided to take a few months off before he went on to work full-time for the AWA. And this was back in 1970, the December of 1970 when he did this. And in his first few matches, he beat people like Dave Cox. He beat Paul Diamond, Billy Red Cloud, Eduardo Carpenter. All these big names, Ernie Ladd, Hercules Cortez, all these big names from AWA back in the 70s. And then in August of 1971, Nick Bockwinkel decided to team up with another AWA newcomer at the time, Ray the Crippler Stevens, a name that is synonymous with AWA wrestling, just like Nick Bockwinkel is. Ray Stevens, I think, was possibly one of the biggest names in wrestling at that time, because he was the top heel and the top star in San Francisco for many years. He had set attendance records in the Bay Area that I guess lasted until the mid to late 90s. So that was a long period. For a good 20, 30 years, he had held those records there. And he was regarded as one of the top performers of the era. And Stevens made his debut in AWA on June 24th, 1971. And then a month later, he decided that he was going to tag with Nick Bockwinkel. Now, I guess that there needed to be some big angle to display as to why Nick Bockwinkel and Ray Stevens were going to be a tag team and possibly the most villainous tag team in the territory. And I guess on August 28th, 1971... Ray Stevens was going up against Red Bastion. It was a televised edition of All-Star Wrestling. Nick Bockwinkel came to ringside during the match, climbed on the apron. Bastion slugged Bockwinkel. Stevens then nailed Red from behind, and Bastion was busted wide open by Nick Bockwinkel and Ray Stevens during the ensuing melee, and the team of Nick Bockwinkel and Ray Stevens was finally established in AWA. And the 2-on-1 assault by Bockwinkel and Stevens against Red Bastion was monumental for a few reasons. It signified the formation of the hated Bockwinkel and Stevens tag team. It established a feud between Bastion and the team of Nick Bockwinkel and Ray Stevens. Plus, the attack by them showed the fans that they would maim their opponents by any means necessary. Red Bastion and Hercules Cortez won the tag team titles on May 15, 1971 from Mad Dog and his brother Butcher Vachon in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And 2 months into their tag team reign, tragedy intervened. A change of course that would change the course of AW wrestling history. And it was on July 23rd, 1971, Bastion and Cortez were involved in a serious car accident just north of St. Cloud, Minnesota. The 39-year-old Cortez died in the car accident, and Red Bastion suffered a few injuries, but they weren't serious enough. So Bastion took some time off. He went to Japan for a while, and then when he came back, he needed to name a new partner, and that's where he named the Crusher. And the two teams would fight it out for months, and then that fateful night, January 20th, 1972, right here in Denver, Colorado, Nick Bockwinkel and Ray Stevens defeated Red Bastion and the Crusher to capture the AWA World Tag Team titles. Now, I guess there was a book out, and it was chronicling the life of Crusher Lisowski, and it was published by George Lentz. And the finish of the match happened this way. Bastion was about to deliver his atomic drop finisher to Stevens when he was kicked in the stomach by Nick Bockwinkel. Bastion fell to the mat and was pinned by Ray Stevens. You know, what is surprising to me about that match is that, really, Red Bastion thought he could defeat a man with an atomic drop, which is now just a stunning maneuver, meaning that, you know, you just want to set your opponent up for something more, something bigger, something more extravagant than just basically a glorified low blow. That's really what it was all about. And, you know, but this, you know, again, this is, you know, one of those things in wrestling history where things have changed. What years ago an atomic drop would be a finisher, now it's just kind of a filler in a match. But that's what happens in wrestling. Things have evolved, things have changed, and what they're using as finishers now may not be considered finishers in the future. Spinebusters were considered finishers. Luthez presses were considered finishers, and now they're just something you add in the match to set up for a pinfall or you set up for something else. So, but on a brighter note, this Sunday is Christmas. So when we come back from the break, I'm going to be talking to you about some of the special Christmas moments in wrestling history. So stay tuned for more of the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com.
Go Mile High is easy to find on Facebook, too. Like us. GoMileHigh.com.
Howdy, it's Kelly from the Corral.
This is Ron Unger from the Press Box.
Hey, this is Shadow the Truth from Living Mile High.
This is The Consequence from the Full Nelson.
This is Jazz from the Press Box. Just want to wish you and yours happy holidays.
Just wishing you and your family happy holidays.
Wishing you and yours a happy holidays.
Wishing you a happy holidays, jabroni.
Wishing you and yours a happy holidays.
Wishing you happy holidays.
From all of us here.
From everybody here.
From all of us here. Wishing you and your family a very happy holiday season from everyone here at GoMileHigh.com.
Hey, sports fans, go to BeOnAir.com to find out how you can launch a career in sports broadcasting. I'm Katie Mitchell, and I graduated from the Ohio Center for Broadcasting's Colorado campus. In less than a year, I got the hands-on experience I needed to start a career where I get paid to watch and talk about sports. While attending the Ohio Center for Broadcasting, I scored an internship and have been on air ever since. So if you want to work in sports radio like me, text FANS to 33239. Classes start soon, so text FANS, that's FANS, to 33239 today.
Go Mile High. You're listening to GoMileHigh.com.
It is with sound mind and body that I, James Fredericks III, after fighting with all direct family members for decades, leave my entire fortune of $32 million to the one friend I had in the end, the package delivery guy, Matt Songer.
Woohoo! Yeah! I had a feeling about this. I'm rich! Oh, this cannot be happening.
Actually, it's not happening.
What?
And it never will.
I don't get it.
There aren't even people here. That's just one of those murmuring sound effects.
Seriously?
Listen, if you want to have money in your future, don't rely on luck. Put $10 away each month. Cook once in a while instead of eating out.
Okay.
Pay down your high-interest credit cards.
Right.
Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow.
So, no inheritance?
No. Go to feedthepig.org for more free ideas.
Feedthepig.org.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
And just to be clear, no inheritance, right?
GoMileHigh.com. Are you freaking kidding me? GoMileHigh.com.
Welcome back to the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com. As always, if you got any questions, comments, or concerns, if you want to vent, like Tommy LaCroix did earlier on, you need to give us a call at 720-258-8488, or you can like the Michael Titus Show on Facebook, post a comment there. You can follow me on Twitter at Michael_Titus. Check out my website, themichaeltitus.com. And also, our second caller of the day, The Real Joshua Todd. You can follow him at The Real JDT. Check that out. So we were talking before we went to the break about special Christmas moments in wrestling history. Well, some of the most memorable moments that some people have debated over was Stone Cold Steve Austin singing Christmas songs, the Boogeyman attacking Santa Claus and his elf, Cena Claus, that Degeneration X moment from 1997 where the little things on the screen made you believe that they were buck naked out there in the ring. I'm not sure if that was actually true. You know, you'd have to ask some people. You probably have to ask China, who was there at the time. But that was a special moment, you know, and Goldust dressing up like a Christmas tree on numerous occasions. You got to watch out for that guy. Then you have Degeneration X from 2009, their whole joking moments and messing around with Hornswoggle, calling him an elf when he's a leprechaun. And then the Real Joshua Todd told me that his special moment was Stone Cold Steve Austin stunning Santa Claus when the very first Tribute of the Troops happened in Baghdad on December 25th, 2003. Now, what I think personally is something that is kind of interesting is the 12 Days of Christmas, The Rock style. And this is how it went. 12 sharpshooters stinging, 11 eyebrows raising, 10 spines a-busting, 9 noggins knocking, 8 kicks a-kicking, 7 punches punching, 6 suplex smashes, 5 seconds of the people chanting The Rock's name. 5, 4, 3, 2. Well, okay, you got the deal. 4 rock bottoms, 3 people's elbows on your 2 buck teeth, and a butt kicking all over New Orleans. Now, some people think that that was pretty funny. He was very quick-witted. He was able to ad-lib on the fly. Very phenomenal individual. But, you know, as I talked about at the beginning of the program, I was going to talk about this special feud from 1998 that happened on this day. Well, that special feud was against Eric Bischoff versus Ric Flair. It was from WCW Monday Nitro on December 21st, 1998. But evidently, the feud had been going on longer than just that particular edition of Nitro. Apparently, it started back on April of 1998 when Ric Flair mysteriously disappeared from WCW television. The reason for his disappearance was due to the fact that Eric Bischoff filed a lawsuit against him because he no-showed a WCW Thunder TV taping, the Thursday night WCW wrestling show. After the case was settled, Ric Flair returned on Monday Nitro, September 14th, 1998. He ceremoniously reformed the Four Horsemen. You know the Four Horsemen, the legendary group of elite athletes who were not only gifted in the ring, but supposedly out of the ring as well. They had the best of everything. Skills, knowledge, cars, clothes, women, you name it, they had it all. They certainly lived the life of Riley. At another show, I'll explain to you what the life of Riley was all about. It was a radio show, a television show for a while, but it just basically means that someone who is provided for, someone that has money and they're given and they're taken care of in all respects. Anyway, over the course of the 2 years, the NWA ran roughshod over WCW, turning it upside down. Eric Bischoff, the executive vice president of WCW, thought he had successfully pulled the wool over everyone's eyes when he pulled off his master plan by making people think that when Scott Hall and Kevin Nash attacked him on the Great American Bash in 1996, and that Hollywood Hogan was controlling him, when in reality, it was Eric Bischoff who was the puppet master pulling all the strings. Eric Bischoff became mad with power. He fired innocent people and then humiliated them later when they begged for their jobs back. And even though all of the Turner bigwigs, for those of you not familiar, WCW was owned by Turner Broadcasting, tried to suspend him and even tried to fire him, he didn't budge. He was still the evil, maniacal maniac he always was. Whilst he was making people's lives miserable, he then decided to turn his attention onto Ric Flair. He started by making slanderous remarks about the man. Then he sent his NWO goons on him and the Four Horsemen. Ric Flair had enough. During an interview with Mean Gene Okerlund, As Ric Flair was verbally expressing his outrage towards Bischoff's actions, he had a mild heart attack. So the following week, to kind of make up for what happened and apologize for that heart attack, Eric Bischoff invited Ric Flair's family into the ring. His sons, David and Reed Flair, his wife was in the crowd, and being in Eric Bischoff fashion, he decided that he would have his NWA goons start attacking his kids, Ric Flair's kids. Reed, David, Barry Windham, the former Four Horsemen member, was brutalizing the kids, and then Eric Bischoff, thinking that he was Mr. Funny Man, went over, grabbed Ric Flair's wife, and stole a kiss from her, trying to add a little bit of salt to the wound, so to speak, because Ric Flair, as everyone knows, is the wheelin', dealin', kiss-stealin' son of a gun. Which now brings me to December 21st, 1998. On that show, Bischoff comes out to the ring once again to belittle Ric Flair. While Bischoff is spewing off at the mouth, the Horsemen storm the building. Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Dean Malenko, and Chris Benoit search the arena for Bischoff. They find Scott Norton, an NWO flunky. They beat him down, but Ric Flair has bigger fish to fry. Flair makes his way to the ring to find Bischoff, still bloviating to the crowd. We learned that in class. That means to speak pompously. Flair rushes the ring and chases Bischoff out of the arena, or so he thinks. Now, later on in the night, this is where it really gets interesting. Barry Windham, former Horseman, now NWO reject, is in a match with Van Hammer. Barry was at one time a dear close personal friend of Flair's. Now that he is in bed with Eric Bischoff and doing Eric Bischoff's bidding, they are acrimonious adversaries. So with no formal request, Ric Flair heads to the ring to dish out some revenge. Now get this. Flair chopped, punched, kneed, tossed, smashed Barry's head into the steel barricade. Then he delivers a debilitating low blow to Barry's family jewels. Barry fights back, but to no avail. Flair counters with an excruciating double thumbs to the eyes, a thumb in each eye. Barry backpedaled and tried to fight back, but Flair thwarted the attempt with another low blow. Then Rick proceeded to rip Barry's face with his nails. Rick continued with a punching attack to the proverbial manhood, and just before he could deliver the coup de grace, Shattered Dreams in the corner. And if anybody knows Goldust, Shattered Dreams is where you set the guy up in the corner and you try to kick him in the crotch. Well, you know what? Another NWO flunky comes to the ring, Vincent, a.k.a. Virgil. He comes running to the ring thinking that he could save Barry, but he was stopped with a low blow from the dirtiest player in the game, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Immediately following Vincent, Arn Anderson arrived on the scene to assist his longtime friend, Ric Flair. Then total chaos ensued. Just then, more NWO members made their way to the ring, accompanied by the other two Horsemen members, Dean Malenko and Chris Benoit. It's now a Pier 6 brawl. The battle continued to the parking lot until staff, refs, and security could break it up. Meanwhile, back in the ring, Ric Flair, in no uncertain terms, gave Eric Bischoff a warning for their match at Starrcade, which would be in 6 days. On next week's show, I will fill you in on the match and the fallout from the following night on Nitro. But continuing on, we're going to be talking about some more things when we get back from the break. Another pet peeve I have, but we'll have more when we get back from the break. This is the Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com.
Go Mile High. You're listening to GoMileHigh.com.
Here at Go Mile High, we elves are working hard for all the nice boys and girls in Colorado sports world. We have Shadow and Sarah over here building the trains to transport the latest local lifestyle news on Living Mile High. And over there we have Kelly Brogan putting together rocking horses for the corral fans where the rodeo occurs year-round. And watch out, because here's Luke Sobiek decking the halls with MMA news and action on MMA Uncensored. We'll also stuff your stocking with all of our other great productions, such as the Power Arrow, Full Nelson, and the Press Box. Plus tons more. We work year-round to present you with the best Colorado sports and lifestyle entertainment. Happy holidays from everyone here at Go Mile High.
The views and opinions of the following program does not necessarily reflect those of the Internet Streaming Corporation and GoMileHigh.com.
Whether you're a hardcore athlete in training or just looking to stay active, find the gym that fits your needs in the new Colorado Sports and Fitness Guide. We bring Colorado the best sports and fitness information from in and around the Denver metro area. Find gyms, CrossFit, sports performance and personal training, nutrition, and more in the new Colorado Sports and Fitness Guide. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for daily updates and specials from our sports and fitness providers. ColoradoSportsAndFitness.com, Colorado's #1 resource for sports and fitness information.
GoMileHigh.com. Go Mile High.
Hop in the car and ride along with me, Dustin Jonas.
And me, Ben the Bean, on the Power Hour. As we power slide through the world of racing and motorsports along with
automotive news.
Starting this coming up model year, Ford will not offer a CD player as standard package in a vehicle.
It's somewhat surprising, but somewhat
expected.
Yeah, because how many cars can you buy with a cassette player?
Local events.
We have the Cummins Rocky Mountain Truck Fest. Entries are open to anybody with a pickup or SUV. All you got to do is pass tech inspect. Costs $30 to get in. Burnout competition, drag racing, two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, pro truck, diesel.
Test drives and car reviews.
I drove a Fiat 500. Good gas mileage, 27 city, 38 highway. Has a 1.4 liter, 101 horsepower engine.
News from the world of rally racing, NASCAR, and much, much more, including the Donkey of the Week.
Join us on the Power Hour every Wednesday, 2 to 3, only on Go Mile High.
Clutching the envelope tightly, I stepped onto the ladder at the bottom of the treehouse. Something caught my eye above me and I looked up. Light! It looked as if there were a firework display going on inside the treehouse. Crackling and snapping and whizzing sounds spun around above my head. Light shot out in sparks, dancing to the popping of noise. And then I looked up and saw... To find out what happens next, read Philippa Fisher's Fairy Godsister by Liz Kessler. Explore new worlds and check out more cool books at your local library. And visit read.gov, brought to you by the Library of Congress and the Ad Council.
Go Mile High is easy to find on Facebook, too. Like us. GoMileHigh.com.
Welcome back to the Michael Titus Show. We've only got a few moments left, but I wanted to wrap things up. I wanted to let you all know just real briefly about what's going on in wrestling now so that when you listen to the full Nelson later on, you'll get to know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so Zack Ryder, the trending superstar of the year, the star of the YouTube video sensation Z True Long Island Story, he was held back, and despite qualms in the beginning, and with the help of his YouTube show, and John Cena, he became one of the most popular superstars in the WWE today. He is now the United States champion. He beat Dolph Ziggler. So that's a phenomenal feat. That just happened this past Sunday at TLC, Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. Booker T, spouting off again. He got his comeuppance when he faced the Intercontinental Champion Cody Rhodes. And then, and a travesty of justice, a big, huge melee of things. The Big Show defeated Mark Henry, became the new World Heavyweight Champion, and then Daniel Bryan comes in out of nowhere, cashes in the Money in the Bank contract. He beats the Big Show and is now the new World Heavyweight Champion. So you got people like, you've got Daniel Bryan's the new World Heavyweight Champion, CM Punk is the WWE Champion, you've got Zack Ryder is the United States Champion, Cody Rhodes is the Intercontinental Champion, Beth Phoenix is the Divas Champion, and then Air Boom is the Tag Team Champions. So that's right, folks. So all those are the champions in the WWE right now. To hear more, you're going to have to listen to the full Nelson later on tonight on GoMileHigh.com from 7 to 9 Mountain Standard Time. And one last thing before we go. Everyone's talking about this date, December 21st, 2011. They're saying a year from now, they're predicting doomsday. They're predicting what's going to happen and that the world is going to end. Well, I'm going to correct you on that, because there's no signs that it's going to be the rapture. The world is not going to end. The Mayans have corrected everyone. If you've ever talked to a Mayan, you'd know exactly what's going on. Their calendar is just running out. They're planning a big change. Things are going to be changing in the world. Doesn't mean that the world is just going to all of a sudden dissolve and disappear into outer space. It's just a big change that's going to happen. Who knows what that change is going to be? But I know, because I have a very close friend who's an Aztec, who is another one of those indigenous people, Indian people from Mexico, just like the Mayans, and they all say, it just means a change. Things are going to be changing, and big things are going to be happening. So I want you to stay tuned here on GoMileHigh.com, because coming up next is Dave Brill and Ronnie Lee for On the Pitch, the greatest soccer show you're ever going to hear from around the globe. So stay tuned for more right here on GoMileHigh.com.